Hi everybody, here's a review for My Girl Tale. Okay, now this one was made in 1994, but it's set in 1974. So now Beta is 13 years old. And she's given a project at school to write about someone who she knew or but never met. So she decides to do a report on her biological mother because she never met her actually. Because like I said in the last video, her mother died in childbirth. So, okay. So then to get all the facts about her mother, she has to go to California. And her father is vehemently opposed at first because he's afraid she'll come back completely different than when she left. You know, shaving her legs, maybe tattooed and pierced. So, uh, let's see. And then, so she goes on a hunt for her mother, the story of her, like what happened to her mother before, her end. But, like her friends and whoever. And also, she's convinced that her father might not be her father, but that doesn't turn out to be the case. But she's kind of convinced of that too. So it's a journey of self-discovery and probably understanding the most basic part of yourself to understand, like part of your history to understand yourself. So she meets a lot of interesting people along the way. She meets a guy, and it's Ben Stein, but this was before his game show When Ben Stein's Money. And he just plays an interesting old person. Um, and then she gets a kind of boyfriend, but it's her uncle's girlfriend's son. So, but, and so they have this interesting conversation about, are we related? Should we even like each other? But yeah, they can like each other because they're not related and they're not blood related. So she meets the girlfriend Rose because her uncle Phil was known as a bachelor and never going to get married ever. So the fact that he even has a friend that happens to be a woman is very strange. She says, kind of in a teenage way, how long have you guys been dating? And Rose kind of says, forever. And and Betty says, okay, well, why aren't you getting married? And her uncle doesn't even want to talk about it, so he's like, shh. um, but yeah. Um, so then by the end of the movie, they do get engaged, but it's just kind of odd. Because she happens to be there or happens to be around, not right there, but it's just strange. So then, uh, uh, her boyfriend is played by Austin O'Brien, and you have to understand that back in the day, he was a really hot teenage guy, so everybody wanted to be with him or whatever. So the fact that they get to kind of kiss for a minute, it's like, oh wow. And then, okay, so they kiss, right? And then he is walking on air, and his mother is like, "Oh my god!" But that's the very end of the movie. Um, okay, in the middle of the movie, she meets her, well, who she thinks is her father, but the dates don't match up because they were married. Her mother and this other guy were married for a short time, but he didn't want kids at the time, but of course, He's remarried to another woman, and they have a small girl. And he says something to the effect of, "Honey, I know you want me to be your father, but it just isn't so, because at that point, your mother wanted a child, but I didn't want kids then. So it's just not possible." Um, so finally, she gets to understand that her father is her father, and also that his the guy's wife is a nice lady. So they all come to an understanding. So um, and then of course she comes back, and she's let's see, pierced because she pierced the ears. And so Shelly kind of says jokingly, her stepmom. And also, Shelly happens to be pregnant in this movie, so they're expecting a new baby too. Um, but she says, "Oh, just don't shape your legs because," or somebody says it. I think it's Rose, because she says, if I send you hair, if I send you back hairless and full of holes, they'll never let you visit again." It's just really funny, but you have to see it for yourself to understand what I'm talking about. I mean, I can try to explain the fact that it's funny, but you have to see the delivery and everything to understand what I'm talking about. But so it's a coming of age movie. The next part. Okay, and here's something that I didn't know until today, honestly. Um, there was a My Girl 3 in the works, but because the My Girl 2 had such poor box office performance, they didn't do a My Girl 3. And to give you guys some perspective, uh, My Girl did 121 million in the box office, and My Girl 2 did 28 million. 20, yeah. So still a nice bit of money, but quite a downgrade for $121 million. So, all right. Bye, guys.